show to the Kitchen Warrior. I'm your Chef Melvin, and today I want to invite you to make with me a turkey stuffed chicken drumstick with roasted vegetables and a supreme sauce. I want to meet to the kitchen. Follow me. Our list of ingredients is the following. We need these fresh drumsticks. Make sure that when you purchase them, they are defrosted. And we're going to remove the skin from these. We also need an egg. We need some ground lean turkey meat. We need butter. We need flour, a chicken stock, some oil, milk, a lime, oregano, onion, celery, and carrots, and fresh thyme, as well as a little bit of salt and pepper. It's always a good idea to start cutting all your vegetables beforehand. That way there is no chance of contamination at all, or at least you make that less of a chance. Alright, we're going to start by separating our vegetables here, and we're going to cut this in half. Half of these vegetables are going to be very finely diced. This is a little fine mince, and so we'll kind of cut this really small. We'll make a small mirepoix, which we're going to mix. Alright, keep that. And you keep them together, and then you run your knife the other way. And you get your little squares, the little mince. Wonderful. If all these little pieces are too big, you set them aside. No problem. Okay, we'll do the same thing with the onion. We're going to cut half of this onion, which we're going to use the same way. So here we're going to separate it by cutting it a couple times this way, then a few times this way, and repeat it again. We want about equal amounts, all three of them, at least as equal as possible. We take this part and put it right here. Alright, so this mirepoix we're going to add to our turkey meat right here. Put it together. We're also going to add a little bit of oregano. You can add any spice you like. Poultry seasoning, sage, all of them are good. We're going to add 1 egg and a little bit of salt and pepper, and even a little bit of thyme. Very good. We'll chop it a little bit, and we add it to it. Wonderful. This we're going to mix pretty good with a spoon. You can also add dried fruit. If you have cranberries, if you like raisins, if you like dates, prunes, any combination that you like. Is that we're going to place them in little bundles. You know, 2s are fine. We're cooking here at home. We're making this very nice dish. And what we're going to do is make little matchstick cuts. We call this julienne or matchstick. About as even as possible. You do 1 little sticks. Alright. We're going to keep them aside, separate. And we'll do the same thing with this one. We want them to be about as even as possible. So we're going to cut the 1 piece. Just 1 cut at a time, no problem. Just like that. Okay, very good. And then we'll take these and we'll cut them in half. And we have 2 little bundles. Alright, pretty good. And with the onion, all we'll do is that we'll just run our knife. Just like that. 1 cut. And we can pick the pieces that we want from this little bundle. To remove the skin from the drumstick. We want this to be a nice lean meal. And the skin is optional. You can keep it if you like, but you can also remove it if you like. I'm going to remove it just for this demonstration. Alright, so with a napkin I have removed the chicken, and now with a sharp knife I'm going to take it. I'm going to be very careful when I do this. What I want to do is I want to score just a little bit around the knuckle here, and what we're going to do is that we're going to peel this back. So once you've done that part, you're going to scrape with your knife. Just a little bit of work at first, but trust me, you get the hang of it once you've done 1 or 2. And you'll peel back on this bone, just like that, exposing the bone. Want to do that right up to about there. Very good. The next thing we're going to do is with a nice sharp knife, with the back of the knife, this part right here, you're going to hit this with 1 single shot, and you're going to cut it. All of them. and our oven has been warming up at 350 degrees. We're going to put these in there, and while the chicken thighs are baking, we're going to be making our sauce, and the sauce is a sauce supreme. And I'll show you here in a minute how we're going to do that. As these things bake, they're going to caramelize a little bit and the tips, and you're going to see how beautiful they're going to look, just like that. Finally, we're going to season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. When you're working with chicken, always make sure that you separate the seasonings that you're going to use aside, because once you have touched the surface of the chicken, the meat, you have already contaminated your seasonings, and these are only good for this particular project. So we're going to make a blonde roux, and the onions, not to worry, they're going to start cooking here in a minute. All we want to do is make a little bit of a runny paste. We want this to be almost like a pancake batter. If it's thicker than that, you know, it's just not as manageable. And what we want to do is cook this for approximately about a minute, minute and a half. I'm going to cook this for a moment here. I'm going to bring it down. And now we're going to add our milk. There's many ways of making the sauce. This is the method that we're using at this moment. And this is going to cook, and it's going to be able to coat the back of the spoon. That's when you know the sauce is ready. And we're going to flavor it with a little bit of this lime. So that's about the right time. So I think a half a lime for this is just enough. Half a lime. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. It's important to add the salt and pepper. About this much. And we're just going to mix it really good. I'm going to turn off the heat. As you can see, the consistency of the sauce, as we look at the back of the spoon, it drips. This is an indication that this sauce is perfect. So all we're going to do is we're going to remove it from the heat, and we're going to take that butter that I told you about, nice real butter, and we're going to add it to it and mount it, and just incorporate this right into the sauce. Moved our drumstick now from the oven. It's been there for 35 minutes, and the internal temperature is of 165 degrees. It is very important to always cook chicken to 165 degrees. So with that said, we're going to put one piece right here in the very center. Put this piece right there, and the other two pieces right here. This would be one way to serve our dish. You can select any vegetable you like. And there it is. Do not limit yourself as to what you can do. Just use basics that you learn, and let your imagination and your taste make it happen. I'm Chef Melvin, the Kitchen Warrior. Thank you for watching.